Hi Virgo friends, this is Leah. I'm an intuitive life coach and energy healer at Solar Vitalization Healing, and I am here today to bring you a monthly equinox energy update. But these kind of are timeless in the sense that if you come across this message at a time later in the road and this applies to you, then take it because the message was meant for you. And again, this is a general reading, so this isn't going to apply to everyone, but if it does apply to you, great. Take what applies and leave what doesn't, okay? All right, Virgos. So as I started to meditate on your energy this month, as we're moving into the equinox, what's kind of healing and what's kind of changing is just there's a lot of change around you guys, a lot of uncomfortable change. Some stuff that has been outside of your control has really pushed you outside of your comfort zone. And the first card that I pulled for you guys was grief. So I really do feel like a lot of you guys are grieving. So for some of you, it could be an actual person. For some of you, it could be a dream. For some of you, it could be a way of life. But it's kind of one of those things that there's nothing else you can do. What's done is done. It's gone. Nothing is going to come of this situation. That's what I got for that. So basically, I'm kind of getting almost these feelings of it's really hard to move forward, like kind of almost wanting to cling to the past. And it's just kind of one of those situations where you have to be able to allow yourself to grieve. You have to allow yourself to feel the feelings. You have to allow yourself to pinpoint what exactly it is that you're grieving. You have to allow yourself to make the changes that you need in your life as well that this is pushing you towards. Because although what happened is something that's one of those things of life is what I'm feeling. You know, it's not one of those things that's really anyone's fault. It's more of one of those things that you just kind of have to accept it and move on. Big life changes. And it's a lot of grieving, and it's a lot of growth, and it's a lot of moving forward. And part of this is going to be a part of your growth. So despite the fact that it was really, really hard for you, this is starting kind of awakening in you Virgos. And one of the things I kept getting whenever I was really meditating on your energy was, Virgos, you guys work so hard, and I feel like part of it's almost like you never really feel like you're good enough. And part of the reason that you're working so hard, and part of the reason that you kind of never really stop, is because you don't want to sit with those feelings. You kind of want to just keep proving your worth by doing, organizing, being the one who holds everyone together, right? You guys are so nurturing, and you're so organized, and you're so structured, and you're really able to bring that to everyone. And I feel like in a lot of ways you fight for that, for your worth, okay? So I'm here to tell you you're worthy no matter what, and those are amazing qualities. I'm so grateful that you bring them into the world. But what's happening here right now, this whatever you're grieving, the grieving process, this thing that you were kind of blindsided by, it's making you sit still. Sorry, the incense is blowing on my face. It's making you sit still. It's making you have to take a break, and it's making you have to change the way that you're looking at things. And I know this might sound weird because it might seem unrelated to where you're going, but what's happening right now, this phase of your life, going into equinox, going into the rest of this month, is actually bringing you into your destiny, your true calling, and who you really are. Because it's making you take that break from doing, taking care of other people, and you're gonna have to sit with yourself, and you're gonna have to sit with your emotions, and it's gonna force you to make some changes in your life. I know that sounds scary. Take a deep breath. We'll go through the rest of it together, okay? So what you guys have to do is you guys really do need to sit with that. And what I'm really seeing for you is that you're going to start opening up to the person that you really are. It's almost like sometimes whenever we go through like a really big thing, we get so emotionally, mentally, and physically drained that we cannot put on a facade anymore. Okay? And so many of us have put on these facades from our childhood wounds where we want to please people, we want to be good enough, we want to be able to make other people happy. And in order to do that, we put on this fake front of who we truly are. It's like, okay, who I really am isn't good enough, so I'm going to pretend to be this person to make you happy. And I'm going to do all of these things to make you happy. And I'm going to do all of these things really to make you love me at the end of the day. And a lot of times we are kind of subconsciously guided to do this by our parents or whoever. They might tell us we're not good enough, verbally or non-verbally. Or maybe it's something that we've internalized from something else. I mean, we don't really live in a world that values authenticity, really, but you're going to take some time and you're going to start to notice this facade. And I see you really taking the first move in the sense of it might be the first time you're really stepping out and exploring who you really are. And it might take some time to do that, but I see you kind of like dipping your toes in the water with people, talking about different interests you've always had, stating your opinions a different way, maybe even realizing you have different opinions than you used to thought you had, almost like you thought you you had opinions that you held because you felt like they were like the right thing to do. But as you're kind of starting to go through this exploration, this exhaustion where you can't put up a front anymore of anything, that's when you're going to kind of just be real. And you might even be real with yourself for the first time, because it's no longer about what's right or wrong or what society thinks or what you think. It's about what you really think and your gut reaction, those instincts. And it's a good thing because it's taking you to who you really are. And you're putting down that facade that you've been wearing from childhood. And all of this is going to take you to your destiny. All of this is going to take you to a destiny you actually didn't believe was possible anymore. I'm getting for a lot of you guys that I'm reading in this collective, you might have given up on your dreams, and you might have felt stuck in this situation, or maybe stuck's not even the right word, kind of like stagnant, just kind of going about your normal life and living your life day by day, and you just kind of keep going and keep going and keep going, and nothing ever changes. You know, it's like you get up, it's time to make the donuts, it's time to go to bed. It's time to make the donuts, it's time to go to bed. And you're kind of been on this track where you just kind of keep going, and you haven't really pursued anything that kind of makes you whole. You haven't really pursued anything that really is true to your heart, just because time has gotten away from you because you've been so busy in the mundane day-to-day tasks of life, and you haven't had time to sit down and think about it or work out whatever it is that you want to make it happen. Or maybe you've tried here and there, but there have been such disappointments, and you felt like really discouraged whenever you're working on it. Now I'm getting this grief, this cycle that you're going through of grief. The fact that you feel like you cannot move on, the fact that you're almost stuck where you are, having to feel these feelings and having to take a break and having to sit because you're not going to have the energy to keep doing the things that you do, at least not to the level that you normally are, is going to force you to grow. I got the growth card. So right now it's a really good time to sit and honor the feelings that you have and let them teach you about yourself. Maybe even start journaling. I think writing would be a really, really good opportunity for you right now. And try to lighten your heart, because I see a lot of like isolation, a lot of just kind of sitting with yourself. It's like I meditate on the energy. The cards come out. It's crazy. But like really just kind of sitting with yourself and being alone and allowing yourself to ask yourself who I really am, what these feelings are telling about you, and also just grieving, because I feel like a lot of what you're going through really does require a grieving process. It's not just like I'm healing something. It's like when it comes to grief, feeling sad about it's normal. There's no like thinking around it that's going to make us stop being sad. If we lose someone, if we lose something, that there's no going back. And whatever this is, if it doesn't resonate with you that this is a situation that your life is forever changed, then this probably isn't the reading for you, because I'm getting a situation where it's changed your life in a way that you cannot go back. There's no changing it. There's nothing you can do. It's out of your control, whether it's the loss of a person or just something's going on in your life that's making you change it. And like you're kind of being forced to look at yourself and to change, right? So really spending some time alone, spending some time in isolation, and also remembering like your past. You remember your life story. Remember the people you've lost or whatever you're losing. What's going on right now is also like, you guys are bigger than some of the readings I've done recently, but it's almost like a generational healing. Like there's a lot of grief and stuff that's been passed down from generations. I feel like perhaps in your family line, people weren't able to accomplish their goals the way that they wanted to either. There's always a lot of disappointments, almost like you're coming in and breaking the cycle and healing it yourself. You didn't realize that that's what you're going to do, because it seemed like you're on the same path where you're just kind of going and going and going, but you're kind of releasing a lot of intergenerational pain and also accomplishing what generations before you weren't able to accomplish. So in a way, you're healing your entire family line, not just today. This is actually the beginning of this cycle that you're doing this. You might have already made some steps towards it, but it's like you're at a midpoint almost where the work was already done. This is making you stop in your tracks and work on it. And as you move forward, you're kind of making all this progress. It's really healing your family line and also healing your own like lack of ability to achieve what you wanted to achieve so far, because I don't think you've ever really even taken the time to sit down with yourself and be truly honest with yourself about what you want to achieve. Yes, you might have had some ideas here and there, but I almost feel like you're just like, oh, I'm going to go do the dishes and forget about it kind of thing. So right now you're laying down all the wounds and all the armor, and I think part of the wounding here is people in your family didn't really dare to dream. They kind of did things the way their parents did them and vice versa. None of them really had the audacity, so to speak, to step out of the mold. So right now you're kind of healing that by doing that, and that's awesome. But right now I'm sensing that you're still a little bit guarded, even with yourself, if that makes sense. So it's really hard for you to be even that authentic and honest with yourself. So it's really a matter of kind of taking a lot of time and letting down your defenses, allowing your heart space to open, and spending some time with yourself so you can really get to know what's in there. What is it that you truly want? Don't be afraid. Lay down the armor that your family has been holding for generations, okay? because now is a big time for you to receive new information about who you are and what you want. And it's going to lead you in a direction that surprises you, that you probably didn't think was possible at one point. It might not be within the next couple days you figure out exactly what that is, but I promise you, you are on a path to that right now. It's starting right now, and it's exciting. I'm excited for you guys. And you're also being led, as you grieve, as you let this go, into a time of renewal. Perhaps spiritual awakening, perhaps it's just going to be healing, perhaps it's going to be just feeling better and healed, and really kind of feeling like the beauty of this new dawn, I guess is the best way to put it. It's like a rebirth. It really is. Like, this is truly a rebirth for you, and I'm so excited. I really am. It's going to be really good. I don't mean that to also invalidate your grief and how sad and how hard this is, because I know this is a really hard time for you, but I want to give you the hope of knowing that on the other side of this, there's something so much bigger. This is your rebirth. So I got two things as far as how to help you get through this. One, you just kind of have to grieve and go through this. You are going to have to spend some time alone, really getting to know yourself again. But the other two things I got to really help you are gratitude. So try to be grateful for what you have left, guys. I know it's hard. When I get really depressed, I'm not grateful for anything. Like, I mean, I still write it in my gratitude journal, but then I have to like literally go back to the basics, and it helps. Like, I will go to the bathroom and I'll wash my hands. I'll be like, okay, I have running water. I'm so grateful I have running water. Not everybody has running water. I'll brush my teeth and I'll be like, there's toothpaste in the cabinet. There was a time in my life where I could barely afford toothpaste, and now I can. I'm so grateful. This bed is so comfortable. I'm so grateful. I have a job that pays my bills. And those things that we might even complain about, it really helps sometimes if we really take some time and think. And I have a feeling that you guys are like me, and that a lot of what you have right now, there was a time that you never had any of that, and there was a time you probably didn't even think you would have as much as you have now. And we forget about it because we get used to it, and new problems crowd up, and of course having things doesn't solve our problems. But at the same time, think about all the progress that you've made so far and how you were able to overcome so much so far. And just take time to really be grateful and look around at what you have and how far you've come, and that's really going to help you get through this grief, okay? The other thing I'm getting is to have fun. Build some leisure time into your life. I know you guys are always like chopping wood, so to speak, but take time off from your daily activities, your daily routine of holding everyone together, and do something fun for you. Seriously, go to the movies, go to the park. If you can get a babysitter, get a babysitter, but like, do something for you. Have fun, laugh. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen right away, but that's one way that you can help cut through the grief a little bit, okay? Making sure that you're having fun and spending time with you. Get in touch with your inner child, because that's where some of this wounding starts, and that's where you have to go back to remember who you are. And a lot of this stuff is really heavy, so I highly recommend working on this with a therapist, with a healer. If you want to book a session with me, we can talk about it. But just working with someone too, so you're not alone. I really recommend like a traditional therapist, especially if you're going through like grief of a person. But honestly, whatever you feel is going to work best for you. Listen to your own intuition, okay? But yeah, happy belated birthday too. I think I just missed you guys. I think we're moving into Libra season now, but I hope that was really helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. This one got a little bit heavier and more in depth than some of the other ones I did this month, so let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you, and I wish you the best, guys. Love you. You have a big transformation ahead, and it's going to be awesome, okay? All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.